Hello, today I'd like to talk about universal credit and how that affects landlords. If you currently all plan to have tenants that receive universal credit in your rented property, then find out what this means for you as a landlord and how the rent can be paid. What is universal credit? Well, universal credit is a replacement of 6 benefits into one lump sum payment to claimants. Those eligible must be of working age, that is 18 or over, and under the state pension age. They must be on a low income or out of work and have less than £16,000 in savings and live in the UK. So can universal credit be used to pay rent? The answer to that is yes, and those who receive universal credit will be expected to pay rent to the landlord themselves. Tenants are required to show evidence of their rent and any service charges, and when claiming their universal credit they will be paid whichever is the lower out of the actual rent cost or the local housing allowance rate for the area. So you can see how much the local housing allowance rates are in your area, and if requested you should provide any potential tenant with written confirmation of the amount of rent plus any service charges, either through a letter or a tenancy agreement that includes your full name and address. Service charges relate to the upkeep of communal features of a property, such as a shared garden or hallway, and will likely only be applicable in a block of flats or something very similar. Service charges that are eligible for payment under universal credit, along with the legal definition of what is considered an eligible service charge, can be found on the government website. Just one note of caution: it can take around 5 weeks for a claimant's first universal credit payment to be paid. Be patient if a tenant has just begun the process of claiming universal credit, because it will take that time scale to come through. And can universal credit be paid directly to a landlord? Only in certain circumstances. This can only be arranged if the tenant is the claimant is particularly vulnerable, struggles to budget, or is currently in rent arrears. In this case, the claimant can ask for an alternative payment arrangement, an APA, to be set up, allowing the housing costs from their universal credit to be paid straight to their landlord, and this is known as a managed payment. If you, the landlord, believe the tenant is having trouble paying their rent, then you can request for a managed payment to be set up yourself. So to find out how to set up a managed payment for your tenants, if you'd like me to give you any further guidance, please let me know. And if a tenant's universal credit doesn't cover the entire cost of the rent, and in this case the tenant may be eligible for a discretionary housing payment to cover any extra housing costs not covered by universal credit. That might sound real gobbledygook, and there is actually a clear message there that obviously universal credit can be applicable to your tenants. But if you are in doubt, there are government websites, of course, or the local authority who as a landlord will be able to help you further. Thank you for joining me today. Look forward to speaking to you soon, and if you have any queries, please don't hesitate to let me know.